Alright guys, another day, back again. I actually should say it's another night. It's Tuesday night. I don't work on Tuesdays. It's 11 o'clock. But I got somebody coming to pick up an engine at 9 a.m. and it's still in the car. So now is the time. I also have two E30s without subframes in them that are on lifts. So pulling an engine, not on a lift. So I'm thinking the easier spot's gonna be under the white E30, which actually looking at it, maybe it's better over there. Nah, I'd rather work on this floor. So let me I'm a little tired. Let me work on getting this cleaned up, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what we're actually doing. All right, guys. So moved a little bit of stuff, got enough room, small car. So this is our victim tonight, the Dakar M3. So if you guys remember this car, I originally bought this in Texas, I don't know, 2018, I think. It was an OBD1 S52 swapped 95 M3. Blew that engine up at Grid Life in 2019, and then maybe I bought the car in 2019. I might have bought the car in 2019. Either way, it's been a great car. It's always been a stripped car. I've never registered it, never done anything with it really. And then after it was blown up, I put an S52 in it about a year later and used it for a couple things, drifted it at a couple events this year. I had a blast with it, but realized that stock S52 power is great, but it's after you do like turbo stuff for a long time, it really just feels like a step backwards. So I always wanted more than this car. I always had the thought that I was going to keep this an NA car for like track use, like road course track use, to make me a better driver. But again, I've taken that turbo car to the same tracks, and you know, I wasn't out of control. I was doing fine. So it's a waste of a car. I sold the S52 out of this. I sold the ZF out of this. We talked the other day about how I had a bunch of extra ZFs. So I was fine to make a package deal. He's actually a supporter of the channel. I'm getting a decent chunk of change, and I get an N62 B44, so the same engine that's in the 6 series. So I get a spare engine for that, which is cool. Either way, good. Pays the mortgage, or my part of the mortgage on the shop for the month. If you remember, we were talking about future plans for my Estral M3, the 4-door, and how wild I wanted to make that. I have since changed plans with that car, and everything that I originally talked about for that car is now going to be in the Dakar M3. So it makes way more sense to have a high-powered coupe than a 4-door, because it's way easier to do wide body thing. I really wanted to keep the back seat in the Estral car and give you a nice car, because it's really rare. It's an Estral sedan, slick top with black interior. They made very few of those. It's a super cool car. So I have other plans for that car, which I'll share with you guys. Patreon already knows it. We'll do a plug for that. I've started to get more involved again with the Patreon, and it's actually like worth it again to be one if you care about knowing behind the scene things and knowing things ahead of time. I appreciate the support from all you guys that hung out for so long. You know who you are. This car is going to do great things. I'm hoping to make this car pretty famous as it goes on. And it drove right here under its own power, and this is probably, hopefully, if all goes to plan, the last time this car drives making triple-digit horsepower. So let's get to it. As I said, I got two cars on the lift, so and it's, you know, almost midnight now, so we'll call this the midnight engine pull on our backs. I think I'm going to come out the front, like pull the whole not pull the subframe, but there, walk out here to get some light. But just pull the whole front of the car off and just bring the engine straight out the front. I think that'll be the easiest course of action, and if all this stuff comes off, it's got to come off anyway, so I can just take it off for now. And yeah, and another reason why I started thinking about the car, I really like this car. I kind of felt bad that I like fucked up the fenders and hurt the side skirt, got the bottom of the bumper. But if I go crazy wide body, I don't need any of those parts. So I think that's more of a plan. Let's get this going. I want to get to sleep, so I don't think we're gonna do a whole lot of time lapses. I'm just gonna take you along with it because you guys all wanted to see what my life is. So this is the after hours get shit done part of my life. So I'm gonna start with the front end. Probably drain the coolant. Surprisingly enough, this car actually has AC, so I need to evacuate the AC. But I'm just gonna pull the whole front end off and then go from there. One thing that's gonna be a little bit of a pain, but I'll figure it out, is it has a welded diff, and get the drive shaft off the back of the trans. Need to spin that, so see if I can hunt down some jack stands. I traded a bunch of them a while ago for some stuff, but I think there's still a few in here. Or maybe just a jack stand and a jack will be enough. Oh, there's a couple jack stands right there. So, oh, and a big one right there. Oh, and another one right there. I got 4 jack stands. I'm plenty fine. I'll get this figured out. I'm gonna get back to listening to some music, and I'll update you guys when the front end's off. All right, guys. It's been half an hour or so. Front end is all off, radiator's off. I was worried I was going to be tired, it's going to take all day, but so far it's going about normal pace. I think I'm going to work on, I don't know, more stuff up here. Probably get all the wiring out of there, vacuum lines out of here, heater core stuff back there. I'll have to figure out something, power steering, so leave the subframe in it. What I'm going to disconnect, and then yeah, and the fun part, getting into it, get the exhaust off of it, heat shield off of it, drive shaft off of it, shifter linkage off of it, and then yeah, engine mounts and rip her out. Oh, I guess I gotta do the cowl and stuff too, all this. So probably do wiring on that side, cowl, and then wiring on that side. Yeah, I don't know, keeps going this pace. I might even like bust open a White Claw or something. We'll see. All right, things are progressing pretty good. It's been just another 20 minutes. All the harness is disconnected, cowl's gone, brake booster disconnected, throttle cable disconnected, whole MAF out of there, AC disconnected at the compressor itself, coolant lines on the back all disconnected, engine ground on that side disconnected. Yeah, now I'm work on getting this thing in the air so that I can work under it, and mainly get the drive shaft disconnected. That's gonna be the big thing, but I think we just figured it out. I'll just put some jack stands under the rear wheels so I can spin them. Ooh, gotta take the exhaust off. That's not gonna be that much fun, but should be all right. I built this car, I like put it all together like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, so it should not be that hard to pull it back apart. Well, got around 4 jack stands. I always thought cars look sweet on jack stands, especially from the front. Like just sitting there floating, all that camber looks kind of mean. But anyway, again, a lot less work than I thought. I'm gonna get under there and get the exhaust off. Which, one thing, way easier moving the exhaust on the ground than on a lift by yourself, because yeah, it's not gonna fall to the ground. All right, exhaust out. Wasn't too bad. I forgot cross brace. I'm gonna take that out too first before I get to it. I don't know if I've ever showed this on here, but this car had a full active auto works exhaust. There used to be a track pipe, and then at some point somebody got a hold of this and
did this shittiness to it and put a crappy aftermarket cat in, booger welded it all, and then this twin pipe thing. I don't know, pretty frustrating. This is a sick ass exhaust piece. It's all 3 pieces, and it's got that in it. But I don't know, I don't actually have a real use for most of that, so it'll probably get modified for another car. This is going smooth. I'm feeling pretty confident about this. It's, I don't know, a little bit longer. I hung out for a bit. I forgot that the header bolts were like the exhaust to the headers were like every single size, so I had to get up and down from the car quite a few times. But next we got heat shield, and then drop the trans a little bit, get the drive shaft bolts out of there. I think I'm gonna sit, drink a White Claw. We can talk about that car a little bit and how we're doing, and yeah, so I'll be right back. All right, so White Claw break. So it is Tuesday night, and then last time I was talking about this car, I was sitting at this table unboxing parts, and I realized I had neglected to do some things, mainly order a roll cage. So I actually got on when I got home on Monday night, like 1, 2 in the morning. I was sitting there, ordered the roll cage. I ended up getting a little bit nicer one than I originally planned. So it's like the SCCA NASA drift spec cage from them. So I shouldn't have any problem passing tech almost anywhere. It still wasn't too bad. I think it was like $7.99, and then maybe it was $6.99. I think it was just $6.99 maybe, and then $125 shipping. So hopefully it gets here in time. I put a nice little note there, and I was like, hey, I dropped the ball on this. Please do whatever you can to make this get here quicker. I was like, I have a YouTube channel. I'll be documenting this whole process. I'll give you a lot of high praise if you can get it here in time. So hopefully they will. I called the machine shop today. I guess they've been waiting on guides for a long time for my head. But they said it came in Friday. We're good. Hoping I should get it back by the end of the week, so we can still be on track to assemble that thing over there and get it to go right there in plenty of time to not rush anybody else on this. So we'll see. I've never welded a roll cage before, so we'll see how that goes. I'll definitely have other people check over my welds to make sure it's safe. We aren't just gonna be like, cool, I welded, we're good. I also ordered an ECU for another car that I needed to get done because I was a little worried about that time crunch too. It's another K data coming from somewhere in Europe. They sent me tracking, and like all of the tracking's in German. Feeling good on it though. I think it's going to get done. I think it's going to be done fairly well. I'm sure there's things that I'm forgetting that'll come up, but we got time. Feeling good. So I'm gonna sit here, enjoy this, listen to some music. One thing I forgot to disconnect on the top was fuel, and the reason why is because of the way the fuel is running this. I used this OBD1 car, OBD2 engine, and I was running at OBD2. The fuel pressure regulator is remote on the OBD2 stuff, and I just kind of shoved it in there, so I have like twice the amount of soft line under there. So I think I should have enough that I can yank it out a couple feet, and then I should have a clear view of what I need to disconnect. So, because right now it's just like a jumbled mess of fuel lines. So next time I do this kind of swap, I'll probably shorten those before I stick it in there. It would make the, because I just ended up zip tying it like kind of against the firewall. So we'll see. Anyway. All right. Trans is all disconnected. Drive shaft. Trans connected to the engine. The trans is disconnected from the body. So like the linkage is done. Slave is off of it. Drive shaft's off of it. So I think as of now I'm gonna do
the steering shaft down there and kind of hammer that, get that to collapse in a little bit, and then engine mounts, and we start going. And then after it's out a bit, I'll get the fuel line, and yeah, that should be it, and it should be out. Oh, this is gonna take a lot longer than this. It's about 2 o'clock right now. I did end up finishing the claw. I sat there and just hung out on Instagram more than anything. So I was like, I better get back to work. So that's where I'm at now. I take a couple drinks, get back under there, and this thing should be out in a second. All right, it's 2:40. Engine mounts undone. Steering shaft undone. Power steering lines all undone. So it's hooked up, it's on the hoist, and here's either where it goes really easy or is a pain in the ass. So I'll see you in a second. All right, S52 out of the car. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. I'm pretty out of it. I'll probably work a little bit more, but I'm just gonna go upstairs, take a nap on the couch, wake up. Dude's gonna be here at 9 to pick it up. He's supposed to pick up a diff out of an E28. I'm not pulling that. You can come back for that one. But anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Hope you're stoked with the more daily content. And yeah, see you tomorrow.